Good evening, I'm Sandra Lorenzi, French artist. Thank you very much for your invitation. A special thank for Cynthia Degelink and the Department of Economy, Science and Innovation. Thank you very much for your welcome and your interest. I'm very pleased to be there with you to share my project, my research. I'm going to present you all the genesis of the project, How to Read Poetry to Cancer Cells. It's an artistic and scientific project in collaboration with the scientist Jean-Christophe Marin from VIB. VIB, woo! So, this project was developed over 2 years as part of the Studiotopia program in collaboration with the VIB and Beaux-Arts. The goal of the residency was to bring together artists and scientists, try to develop an artistic and scientific project. So my project began by a meeting. I met Jean-Christophe Marin in a conference at Beaux-Arts, and I discovered that he works in the field of the cancer, in particular skin cancer, melanoma, sorry. The meeting. The first exchanges with Jean-Christophe Marin were about expression. As an artist, I used to write poetry, and I'm very interested about expression, all the field of expression, and particularly the life beings, the expression of the life beings. Jean-Christophe Marin explained to me that the cells express themselves through a specific behavior. The normal behavior, the healthy cell use a normal behavior, but the tumor cell use another kind of behavior. And the word is used to describe that was an aberrant behavior. It was very interesting for me to hear this word, aberration. Do you know where the word aberrations comes? The word aberrations comes from the lexical field of astronomy. It refers to a phenomenon of vision. It's a defect in the optical system. So, aberration means to fork, to change path, to change course, to choose another way. So we can say that the tumor cells change another way to live. A different way, but it's just another way to live and to develop themselves. How do scientists study aberrant cells? First, they collect material by making biopsies. Secondly, culture of cells in the laboratory. And thirdly, they use a strange technology called organoid. I discover what's organoid. There is a little schema, but you probably better know me the technology of organoid. And at the beginning, the name of the project was Cancer and is Double. The scientific research works with two entities. The organoid, it's like a new body, and the cancer cells, the expression. But there is someone who is missing in this equation, the patient. So the question is, why and what place should be given to the patient through this relationship? In the initial project, it was to create a link between personalized medicine and personalized arts via organoid. The cancer cells collected grow on an organoid. This organoid becomes a veritable clone of the tumor. The initial project was quite simple, giving patients the possibility of coming into visual contact with their own cells on the organoid, allows them to talk to their cells. It's a different way of making patients aware of their disease, not only in their body, but also outside of it. Artistic protocol also has to be personalized. Challenges of the artistic projects, bringing the patient back into focused scientific concern. But there is any difficulties, legal issues. Along with Jean-Christophe Marin, we get in touch with a doctor who looks after patients. He supervises patients who donate a sample of their cancer cells for organoid culture. These donations are free and anonymous. Patients who donate do not necessarily benefit from the research. Studies of cells and organoids are used more to understand how tumor cells function than to trade them. There is still a long way to go to make personalized medicine work, particularly in melanoma research. Confronting a patient with his organoid was therefore impossible. For ethical reasons and for research purposes, the use of health data is protected. If I wanted to develop personalized protocol, it would be without the use of organoids. So I had to change my project. The new project expectations were, for the patients, becoming aware of the potential of ears, air expression, to live a gentle yet cathartic experience via art. For the artist, caring for and amplifying the patient's expression and attentions. For the scientists, engage in more holistic thinking that includes the patients. For the scientists, engage in more holistic thinking that includes the patients, giving attention to the plural expression of life. You know that I like to question myself in a philosophical way. My fundamental issues were, are. If cancer cells are considered as entities by scientists, can we talk about an ontology of cancer? If cancer is an independent form of expression, how can patients be given back their full power of expression? How and why should we start talking to ourselves? How and why should we start talking to ourselves? So, now, how I can transform that in art? That's my job as an artist. So I will present now the 3 artistic projects. The first is force field. I developed a force field in collaboration with Jean-Christophe Marin in their laboratory and 4 patients. I create a mutual attention expression protocol. And we realized that during one day in VIB laboratory. It was very intense, very emotional experience. It was quite super. My purpose was to react, to emphasize the link of the expression. So I create different kind of protocol, like creative protocol, that the patient who will appropriate it. For example, you have the symbol connection and protection. It was a drawing experience, a drawing exercise. I asked to the patient to imagine a symbol that represents you. This symbol belongs to you alone. It does not have to be figurative. How do you imagine yourself? How do you feel? How do you perceive yourself? It's a symbol of your presence here and now. In the second step, surround this symbol with gold lines to turn into a symbol of protection. You can use gold leaf. And we finish with this exercise, dialogue with your cell. It was a writing exercise. What would you like to say to your cells? What would you like to express to them? One word to the world, one word to the cell. Speaking exercise. Stand in front of the sample where the sick cells are. You are looking at a screen which shows a live image. In front of the cells, say words to yourself. Let this word release your intentions and feelings. I show you the realization of the patients. For example, Stéphane, here. Stéphane is a patient who lives still now with lung cancer. So he represents itself as a symbol, like egg on fire, you know. And after my job with their accord, it was to transform the drawing, to emphasize the drawing, and I realized the drawings about the drawings. So it was the beginning, for example, here, and this is the results based, you know, the representation. Here, it's very difficult to explain you my way of work in artwork because it's, you know, a very syncretic mood. In my work of art, I very inspired with energetic practices, lithotherapy, meditation, etc., etc. So when I realize this kind of drawings, I connect myself to the patients, to the feeling of the patients, and I manage to feel how the energy I can convoke to respect the feeling of the patients. For example, you have the drawings in the right. It's very soft, very. In the left, it's more, it's more, as we say in the energetic practices, it's more yang. It's not yin, it's yang. So it's the final results that we present that in Beaux-Arts, in an exhibition we called Calling Episteme, 2 years ago, if I remember. It was very great because the final results, it was very important to me to link all the drawings into a composition, so it's force field, and the circle creates a force field, a field. It's like a remember of this moment, of this particular moment that I spent with the patients in the VIB. And you can find the protocol is writing, just close the drawing. The second project, I will show you an extract after. It's called How to Read Poetry to Cancer Cell. It's a movie. Because I want, my first idea is to read poetry to cancer cell. Why? I don't know, perhaps it's a bit naive, but I like to believe, I like to think that to read poetry to cancer cells, it's perhaps to recreate a link between the way and the other way. And it was not, it was a very particular poetry, because I invite Hélène Vial. She is a specialist of Ovid metamorphosis. In the Ovid metamorphosis, you can find the first time the literary the word cancer. Ovid described the cancer as a petrification of the bodies. It's a very avant-gardist vision, you know. You can find that if you want. You can read it easily. And Ovid understand that there is a link between the emotional, the feelings, and the body, and the petrification is like a somatization. Ovid. We a bit forget that, I think, in Occidental way of thinking. This is captures of the scene of the laboratory. This is Jean-Christophe Marin, my collaborator in this project. You can see the dispositive with the screen, and there is presence of stone too. Yeah, and there is the cells present, and we can see the cells on the screen. The third project and the last project is called L'Essentiel. It's a philosophical ode, like I can write. I would like to read an extract of that. I will begin to read it in French, I'm sorry, just to respect the musicality of the word. And after I will translate it. Mourir est comment? Mais il n'y a pas de mort commune, pas de maladie commune, pas de souffrance commune, pas de maladie commune. Pourtant, leur langage regorge de solutions communes. Comme si le corps n'est qu'un corps, la mort n'est qu'une mort qui vient clore une histoire commune. Si le corps est malade, tous les corps sont touchés. Et dans leur singulière historicité, ils regorgent d'iniquité. Vous n'êtes pas égal face aux mots. Vous n'êtes pas égal face aux mots. Prévenir et guérir, guérir et prévenir. Faut-il savoir s'exprimer pour être soigné? Ce qui ne peut se dire, ce qui se ne dit pas, exulte la maladie. Votre médecine doit réapprendre à jauger les dimensions indicibles, invisibles, qui agissent en lignée. Chaque science est une science humaine face aux défis de ces humanités. Dying is common, but there is no common death, no common illness, no common suffering. And yet the languages are full of common solutions. As the body is only a body, death is only a death that comes at the end of a common history. If the body is ill, all bodies are affected, and in the singular histories, they are born in iniquities. You are not equal when faced with ills. You are not equal when faced with words. Prevention and cure, cure and prevention. Do you have to know how to express yourself to be treated? What can be said? Disease exalts. Your medicine must learn to measure invisible and intangible dimensions. Every science is a science faced with the challenge of its humanities. Thank you very much. It's not finished. Now, if you agree, we can just launch the extract of the movie. Yeah, well, we just have 5 minutes movie. The movie we called How to Read Poetry with Cancer Cells that I realized in collaboration with the VIB and Hélène Vial. Thank you very much. And after this presentation, feel free to exchange with me because it's a bit short. So if you have questions or just observations, it will be a very great pleasure to share with you. Thank you.